This is a video and I'm doing a video right now. Thanks for watching. Hello, I am a video. Hello everyone, I am the Chosen One. Welcome to my top 10 favorite Fire Emblem Engage maps. Today I want to just discuss some of my favorite maps from the game. I usually don't do videos like this, but I really enjoyed Engage and I want to keep like the things fresh in mind on what I liked on the game and just review like some of my favorite things about it. So for this video, I want to go over my favorite maps of the game. There's a lot of good maps. So I feel like when there's something cool to talk about from a game, I want to make a video about it, or like I want to make like rank my favorites from it if I could like remember it clearly and stuff. So I want to do things a little bit differently. I'm going to be doing a few videos on different favorite things from the game because I'm going to be playing it a lot and I just wanted you guys to know what my favorites were. I really enjoyed the game. Most of the maps are amazing. It's a very well designed game. So let's just get started. I'm just gonna go through ranking. They're ranked from 1 through 10. Let me preface that big spoiler alert warning. We're gonna be covering a lot of, you know, spoiler maps that come later in the game. So if you do not want to get spoiled and you haven't been in a game, I recommend just adding this to watch later, beat the game first, then come back. So yeah. Spoiler warning right now. Number 10. Chapter 6, The Stolen Ring. So this is the map that you get Yunaka and Makaya. So, the Yunaka map. So, the reason I like this map is because it's a Fog of War map that I actually enjoyed. Like, fog or dark maps, whatever you want to call it, where there's like darkness, you have to use torches, things like that. Usually they could be annoying because it's like you could be very unprepared for what's gonna come. You have to kind of memorize everything going into it. On a blind playthrough, it's even worse. Like some of the things, surprises could be nasty. So especially if you're doing an Iron Man, this could be very scary. But I actually like this fog map or darkness map, whatever you want to call it. Like, this was actually a fun map. Like, it wasn't too, like, I like how they designed it around showing off Makaya's, like, light ability. It's a thing I didn't use often in the game. I almost forgot about it, if I'm being honest. She's able to light up the area in front of her, which is really cool. So, it shows off a bit of that. It also shows off what thieves could do, which, if you don't know this, thieves were able to always kind of make the area in front of them light up more than your regular units. So if you're a thief, you kind of you get a benefit of being able to see what's in front of you. So they have like good eyes. That's always the thing that they say to like excuse why they could do that. I like how I always love when games made it that the gameplay complements the character, and Fire Emblem always did that. I always find that really intriguing to me. So I like the fact that thieves could see in the dark, and that's actually a mechanic. And it's a mechanic here to stay, and it's still here, and I like how that's how they introduced this map. And it was fun. I liked it. It's not anything too special. I just really enjoyed it. It was like a map I didn't dislike, so I put it here at number 10. Number 9, Chapter 12, The Sentinels. Now this map isn't anything particularly special. I think the reason I just like it is because it starts the arc of Sohm, probably my favorite arc in the game. Sohm is just such a fun place. I love just the vibe, the music's probably my favorite soundtrack in the game. You meet some of the best characters in the game. It's just a fun ride overall. I just enjoyed this map. It kind of brought me back to like good desert maps of like the past. It kind of gives me GBA Fire Emblem vibes with like all the different desert maps you get in that game and stuff. So or in those games, I should say. And it was just fun, like just vibing. It was just such a vibe map, like just having all the quicksand and like, you know, the way that works in this game and stuff. It was just a really fun map to get through. And usually deserts in video games are not favorable to me, at least. Like, I don't enjoy them a lot, but in particular, I really enjoyed this one. Really good music. It was fun playing around with the new units in this map. And overall, just, yeah, I liked how quicksand worked in this game. It was, you know, interesting. Number 8, Chapter 25, The Final Guardian. Now, this is one of the final maps in the game. So again, if you do not want to get spoiled, I recommend not watching this. This is where you fight Corrupted Lumera. And honestly, this map is stressful. At first, when I started playing it, I thought it was just a fun map. They make use of the little crystal mechanic, like that. They charge it at you and start shooting at you, which I thought was kind of cool that they implemented that like in the last few maps to kind of give a challenge to push you forward, like to keep it like challenging, like you have to move forward or they're gonna keep like, you know, shooting at you, whichever thing it is, depending on which map it is and stuff. But then the map takes like a twist, and as you get further into it, when the thieves reach that door, you're in for a bad time, because all of a sudden all these reinforcements start coming, and now they want you to just rush the map, and you have to hurry because you're gonna get killed. Like, everyone's gonna get killed because you're trapped. You move forward, you could get entrapped when you get too close, and you have to deal with all these backup units in this little corridor, and if you don't deal with them correctly, you're gonna get backed up. You can't even, like, even though they don't move, if they're positioned in such a way where you have to strategize who to kill, so that way people stand in the right spot, no one gets killed, you know, they take a hit, but they survive. You have to get rid of the 2 entrap units that are very annoying, that they're placed in spots to guarantee your demise, so you have to be careful with that. And yeah, this was probably the most scariest map because there's so much happening and you have to hurry. Like, if you don't hurry, you're gonna die. So I like the fact of that you kind of have to just, like, you know, hurry up. It's a good rush map. LTC people, rejoice, because this is one of those maps you definitely want to do that for all the time. Number 7, Chapter 8, Kingdom of Might. This map was very cool, because this map was basically like our first defense map. It finally felt cool to see like a map that wasn't just like rout the enemy or defeat the boss. This is the map that made me like realize, okay, this is not going to be 3 houses where we're just having like the same objective in every map. So it felt so cool to see like a traditional defense map. I don't think it's like on the level of like something like Conquest Chapter 10 or anything, but this was a very good defense map. I like the use of the ballista in the middle. I like that the flyers could fly through them, like through the things, but like on the sides you have to be careful for them not to break in and stuff. I like the fact that in some way you have to keep pushing forward, because even though it's a defense map, you still have to defeat the boss to win. So it's kind of like a defense map where you have to, you know, defeat the boss. You can't, it's not just like a time limit that you have to defend. So you're kind of going back and forth, pushing onward, pushing back a little, baiting little by little. You have to strategize which units go where. It was just overall really fun defense map, and I like how they put in the Brodia section of the game. It kind of represents like their, you know, strong demeanor, if that makes sense. So I think that was a lot of fun. Number 6, Chapter 11, Retreat. This map caught me off guard. This is one of those maps where they took a page from Tellius and had the whole like, oh, it warns you, you're gonna go into 2 maps right after the other. So I was very interested in that, because that was the first time that happened in the game as of this part, if I'm not mistaken, and it was done fantastically. So you come off a really tragic part in the game where you lose all your emblem rings, and that plays into the next map. You feel hopeless. There's all these overpowered units chasing you. You just have to, it's an escape chapter. So we have a escape chapter in this game of this intensity this early on. You have to run away. There's people trying to snipe you. You have Veil throwing in all these different, like, emblem rings on everyone, transferring them around. You even killed a unit, and she's just gonna replace it and put it on another unit. That was very stressful. You have to make use of the bushes everywhere. It was like, I didn't even know what I was gonna do here. It felt like this was one of the coolest maps ever to me, for the sole fact that I actually was feeling like I was playing on maddening. So playing this map for the first time blind, it felt like, how are we gonna do this? It keeps getting crazier and crazier as we keep going, and just when I'm thinking I'm okay, she starts, you know, putting Celica on people and having them like warp to me, and we can't even run away because we're getting frozen or they're catching up to me. So I'm just like, and they steal your time crystal. So they take everything away from you. So it's like, it's recommended you save, like do a second save just in case, because everything could go wrong in this map. And just when I was losing hope, like how can we possibly beat this map, my prediction at the time came true, and they give you 3 really good units, 2 emblem rings. It was one of the hypest moments in the game. It starts making the chapter a lot more doable, which I'm thankful for, because it was getting a little too much. So as long as you can make it to that point, I think you'll be fine. But the total whiplash and just being like so hopeless, and just like how the story is at that point, and then all of a sudden hope comes with Ivy, Kagetsu, and Zelkov, was so hyped to me. And I think that was just very well directed map, I would say. Like, it really gave you the feeling of what the characters were going through, and like even Alir himself saying like, is there anything we could do, like can we get out of this? And that's how the player feels, at least on maddening. And they save you, and you still have to work for it. It's still pretty tough, but honestly it's just really good, like stress inducing map intentionally, and I loved it. Really good map. Number 5, Chapter 19, The Dead Town. Now I'm gonna be honest, at first I wasn't a big fan of this map because it was very difficult, but I think I learned to appreciate this map looking back at it. We came back with like the biggest clutch ever at the end, but holy cow, what a way to make Marnie so amazing in this map. Like, Marnie was always the easiest of the 4 hounds, but when this map comes, all of a sudden they give her Roy and she's a nightmare. It's like you have to deal with holdout, but not only the fact that she has holdout, you have to deal with the fact that there's 3 energy gauges she has, and on top of that, every gauge you have to go through her holdout for each one. So it's like all of a sudden she becomes the tank that she was meant to be. Then there's all these units coming at you. You have Mavier like triple teleporting people. You know, if you don't have a lot of tanks in this part, like they're gonna absolutely destroy you. Then you have like these wolf knights like debuffing you. So much is going on here. You have to be careful who you place, because they have so many different things that go like counter what you have. Then you can't really go to the middle because there's all this purple stuff that boosts them and lowers your stats. So it's like just a really overwhelming map. Really scary map. But honestly, I feel like you can make use of a lot of stuff here. Ballistas, having them come to you. Some people might go to them. Like, there's so many different ways to tackle this map, and I just think the design of it is really interesting. I like the fact that you have Malvier teleporting people towards you. The fact that Marnie's not messing around now, and now she's actually strong. The fact they come alone and they're like probably at their best, you face them. Really cool dynamic, and how they fight you, it's really cool. It's also just a unique looking map. I really like it. Number 4, Chapter 20, the Kingless Castle. I like to call this one the Whack-A-Gris map because it's literally just Gris teleporting everywhere, teleporting behind you like a Dragon Ball Z character, and just like warp Ragnaroking you, or Dark Warp, whatever you want to call it, with Celica. It's the funniest thing ever. I was constantly on edge because I just thought this psychopath was gonna pop up behind me like in the darkness. And I'm like, this is like crazy. Ironically, I thought this would be like a heavy Iron Man Ender type of map, because I feel like he pops up very randomly, so I wasn't sure if this would be like very difficult to like trigger the RNG to be like favorable to you of where he pops up. So I thought you would have to be very careful. I thought I was gonna be dying a lot, and ironically I was able to play this map on my first try without a single time crystal. Very ironic that that happens. Very funny. I really like this map. It was really fun to play. I like the fact that if you get to the front in time, he stops teleporting, so it's well designed. Like, if you want him to stop doing that and you don't want to be on edge the whole time, you just have to make sure you get through the map fast. I'm liking this thing with this game, that if you do things faster, you get rewarded for it. So if you get through the map fast, that's a good thing. So it's like, I like that. I think that's really cool. I think, I have to light up the torches as you go. You could also bring, you know, your thief with you. You could bring torches. You could tackle it however you want, but you just have to make sure that you get rid of a few nasty stave units, and to stop Gris from doing that, you just have to get up to the front as quick as you can. So I thought it was just overall really fun map. Also, Gris is best hound, honestly, maybe. I think he's my favorite. Number 3, Chapter 7, Dark Emblem. I like to call this the Brodia Bridge map, because it's how I remember it. Every time I think of it, I'm just like, that was one of the coolest maps in the game. It accompanies you with your first time going into Brodia, all the cool autumn leaves, aesthetic, the music changing up, new characters joining you, new villains to fight. It was just such an exciting time in the game, and honestly, it's just a really, really cool bridge map. I really like bridge maps in Fire Emblem. One of my favorites is the one from Path of Radiance, so that definitely reminded, like, that brought that to mind when I was playing this map. Really epic music, a fun bridge map that you kind of have to like approach very carefully as you move along the bridge, you know, tank carefully. It's just very fun to progress to this map. And you'll be fighting a boss that will become a problem in a certain other map. I'm noticing a trend. A certain boss kind of has a trend of being in some of the best maps in the game, so that's pretty funny to me. But yeah, a really solid map. Number 2, Chapter 14, The Battle for Somme. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I just really love this map. I don't even know why I love this map. It's just, I love Somme in general, and this was easily the best Somme map. I love, like, interior maps, like maps where you go in the inside of, like, just anything. Anything that's to do with being inside a place in Fire Emblem was always cool to me, but this is by far one of the prettiest places in Fire Emblem. It's just like this really cool Egyptian-style palace. I like how there's different pillars. I like how you have to split your team. It looks like a freaking Zelda temple. It's just you have to get the 2 chests in each side, and like they kind of push you to get them, or the thieves will get them. I like the boss. I like the fact that it's literally like 3 of the 4 hounds. They were fun to fight. I believe this is the first time you fight them, if I'm not mistaken. Like, actually fighting them, like, for real. It was really cool taking them on. I like how there's, like, a little break in between the map, and then they start sending reinforcements at you, but they kind of trap it where you could put your units to block. Though you see those 4 rings, emblem energy rings, you could kind of, put like 3 people to block there, kind of just like prepare a little bit, take on the reinforcements, and then make your way up to the final boss at the end of this map. And then they introduce the Dark Emblem concept, where they go berserk after you get rid of their engage, or not their engage, their health gauge, I guess I should say, which was a fun little concept they added. And then all of a sudden they just spawn reinforcements on you after you get rid of one of those gauges, which was kind of an annoying surprise. And even if you stand on the staircases, they still, you know, throw them at you regardless. So that's probably a little thing I didn't like about the map, but it was still a fun, like, really good, challenging map that was fun to play. I like how you could, like, attempt to throw your flyers through the middle, but if they're not strong enough, you shouldn't do that. But I like how that's an option. Like, there's different ways you could take in this map, and it's just designed really... just a really pretty map to play in. Like, this was probably my favorite post-map exploration, if that makes sense. Like, after you do the map, what I like about this game too, it lets you, like, explore the actual map you did, which was a really, really cool thing. I hope they never stop doing that. It kind of gives this sense of adventure and really gets to let you appreciate, like, how the map designers designed the map, not only from a gameplay perspective, but also just as, like, a regular design perspective. Like, just how they designed it to just look nice, but then also be playable, which is just really cool. Because that's really hard to do, to make it make sense as a gameplay type of map, but also to make sense from just it looking nice and presentable to explore as a regular exploration spot. So I think that's really cool. And finally, number 1. Chapter 10, the Fell Dragon Sombron. If it wasn't obvious how much I made it apparent on my live streams when I was playing this game, Chapter 10 was quite the map. Like, this is what I want from a Fire Emblem map. It's funny how Chapter 10s always seem to be like the climactic... They share this in common of always having like a climactic battle of some kind, or a turning point. Awakening had it, Fates had it, and that's my favorite chapter of all time. Like, they seem to always place really impactful chapters on Chapter 10. And this one is no exception. You fight Hortensia again, and she's probably the one that makes this map. She is one of the most annoyingly well-crafted bosses I've ever seen. She has an emblem ring where she could basically use physical weapons as well, or she could use her regular magic weapons. So you're not safe either way. Like, she's gonna hit you hard on magic, or she's gonna, like, double you. So you have to be very careful what you do. She could get you almost from anywhere. She could take on the magic ballista and start shooting at you. She puts pressure on you because it's like you don't know if she's gonna use that. You don't know if she's gonna switch her weapon. Like, you don't really know what she's gonna do. She's a trickster, and I love that because it's like she's like this jester-looking character, and she's like unpredictable. You don't know what she's gonna do. So I had myself second guessing, like, is she gonna do this? Is she gonna do that? Is she gonna target this? I didn't know what the AI was gonna do, and it had me just like it had me at my best tactically to figure out how to defeat this boss, how to bait her. There's so many different ways you could, like, you know, make her come to a certain spot so you could defeat her, but then you have to, like, block another spot. You might want to block the ballista with someone who could take a hit from her. You might, at this point, you want to have your emblem rings ready for certain moments. You have the reinforcements coming. You want to make use of the pillars so you could, like, get a void with your culverts and stuff. It's just a really, really well thought out map. Very small too, so you feel very, like, it feels very scary. Like, this is the turning point. You really feel the vibe, like you're taking on the big boys now, because it's like this is when Sombron's about to get summoned, and it's like, I love how the music, like, I think everything in this map is just so amazing from a story perspective, the way that it's implemented into the gameplay. I love how the music transitions when you go into phase 2 of the map. I love the fact there's even a phase 2 of the map, so just when you think you're done, you have to fight Hyacinth and the Brodian King, both corrupted. You have him showcasing Lynn's Astra Storm, which was so horrifying to me at first, and then having the clones. You have to deal with the backup units in there, them attacking you from afar, them having several gauges to defeat them. Like, there's so much bosses in this early map that it's actually kind of scary, and I love when they throw it in an early map of the game, because it really makes you think to use everybody at their best. It's a big reason why I love Chapter 10 and Fates, because it's like right at the point of the game where you're just strong enough to take on a really hard map that seems like it wouldn't be possible, but somehow it's very possible if you just play it right. And I love maps that could do that. They challenge you to play perfectly, and with your weak units you kind of could overcome them. You just have to play very strategically and you could actually pull it off. It took me 2 tries to beat this map. I think it was the first map to make me restart, but it wasn't an annoying map. Like, I felt like I was outplayed by the map, genuinely. I didn't feel cheated out. I felt like it was just a really well-designed map that I had to figure out, and it was so fun figuring it out. Really good map. Really fun to play. Easily my favorite. Miles ahead all the other ones, honestly. I cannot wait to Iron Man this map. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really fun sharing my thoughts. I didn't go too in depth because I still have to replay them, analyze them more, so there's not a lot to say at this moment since I just came off of my first playthrough. But I hope you guys enjoyed my little, you know, getting to know some of my favorites. I haven't done a top 10 video in ages, so it just felt fun to finally just do this non-scripted and kind of just say my thoughts from the top of my head and stuff. So it was really fun. We're trying to reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers, so if you could leave a like, that helps for small channels like us. Like, you have no idea, for small channels every like matters. So if you're too lazy and you think, I'm not gonna leave a like, he doesn't need my like, it doesn't really matter, it does matter. Like, I kid you not, like, every like helps. It helps get the, it helps tell YouTube that this video is, you know, watchable, that it's a video that people could watch, and that it's not just like they're just some spam video or something. So like, we've been trying to grow. We're trying to actually push to get to this goal so we can finally get emotes and all the features that it allows us to get for the live streams. We're actually like trying to grow so we could get these things done. I try my best every day to get better with this stuff. A lot of good stuff coming, so you won't regret subscribing, and I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. This game's amazing. I love it. There's so much things I want to talk about. I want to rank characters, but I can't because I haven't seen all of them. Look forward to my PMU. I'm doing a PMU in a few days. We're going to be doing our second playthrough, and we're doing, everyone's picking my units. Gonna be playing Madden in Classic again, with all different units I didn't use in the first playthrough. Fun meme builds, all that good stuff. It's gonna be such, I'm like genuinely excited for the second run. I feel it's gonna be a lot of fun. Can't wait to get to know all the units and just play with all these fun builds everyone's telling me to do. It's gonna be so great. And then to just replay this game and analyze all these maps again and see how it is to take them on after being more experienced with the game, learning more about it, so then I will eventually take on Iron Man Fire Emblem Engage Maddening, which is my goal to do one day. But for now, I'm gonna practice and cook with the game a little bit more. It's gonna be fun. I hope you guys are excited. A lot more content is gonna come, don't worry. I'm gonna do like favorite characters, favorite music maybe, favorite emblems, so many stuff, tier list, things like that. We're gonna update my tier list to put where I think Engage ranks among all the Fire Emblem games. I might do a review on the game coming soon, who knows, but there's a lot of stuff. I'm kind of just playing it by ear, so it's gonna be fun. A lot of good things to look forward to. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I've been The Chosen One. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see more of my stuff. And I've been The Chosen One. And I'll see you, Nintendo. God bless you all. Love you guys.